I'm Azura Mason. I work for Barclays Legal. I am currently the head of business management for the PLC Legal. I've been at Barclays for about 5 years. The intern week is one of the best weeks I have during the summertime since I took over running that program, and I just immediately fell in love with the students. I've never been so impressed by a group of students before. I always tell people I don't have to sell New Jersey Leap. You just let them meet the students and they immediately will see the same things that I saw. We base our intern on the week program, and I sort of lay out the week thinking, how do I get the students exposed to as many different areas of the legal function as possible, because we have lawyers that do a wide variety of things. So they'll meet with cybersecurity, they'll meet with fin crime, they'll meet with the reg relations team, they'll meet with litigation. And then I started to even, for the last few years, expand it even outside of legal so they could see other professions at the bank. And then the second thing I focus on is creating cultural capital for them. And so what I think about that's important is I don't want the first time they walk into a really fancy restaurant to be when they're on a job interview. We take them to the university club, and we have an etiquette lunch about forks and spoons, and frequently I'll take them to the National Gallery of Art when we go down to Washington, D.C. to expose them to some of those things, because I think what frequently gets missed and what sometimes disadvantages students of color is the fact that people are speaking a language that they aren't familiar with. We also do tours to some of our other partners. So we'll go to Google so they can see what cool lawyers do and things like that, which again, that's part of the full view, but outside of a corporate bank. And for me personally, to see them sort of grow and change and absorb the information and have new experiences, we typically take our students down to Washington, D.C., and they get to meet with congressmen and senator from their areas. And then we do some touring and we have some fun. And I think that's the highlight of the week for me, is that the trip to Washington. But generally the biggest part of it for me that I love is the way our department embraces the students and makes them feel welcome. The rest of the department asks about students and following up, and they want to know how they're doing. And I get asked about students who've been there like 2 years, 2 years ago. The one thing I feel like I've learned from working with the program is how eager the students are to learn new things. Like, you know that you have really bright students, and you know that you have kids that are really interested in learning and having a different experience, but I'm still amazed at which the level of detail they are actually interested in the topics. I think it was a challenge this year, turning it virtual, because I think that so many of the benefits, it comes from the in-person interaction with the students. How do we create that? How do we make them feel welcome across from a screen? But I think the greatest reward, though, from that moment was how many people signed up to do it this year. The students send thank you notes, and I don't think people realize, you think you have very senior leaders at a bank, and like a thank you note from a high school student would just be a courtesy, and they would say, oh, they sent me a thank you note, that's nice. But I get letters from very senior leaders like they sent me a thank you note. And I think it just shows, sort of the thoughtfulness of the program, but also the kind of impact that the students make, because a senior leader will send me a note and say, I got a thank you note from one of the New Jersey Leap students, because they're happy about it and they're proud of that moment. And it makes them feel like it mattered that they spent their time. And, the amount of people I get notes from about their thank you notes, I think to me is always impressive. It always makes me smile as well.